Hi, welcome back to class. And this week, this is the 6th week of the class, and so we're actually zooming on through. So we have a couple weeks left, and you'll be finished. And so, congratulations, you've been working very hard, and most of you have been up to date on all of your discussions and doing all your Dropbox assignments. So I am really happy with that. This week we're going to be moving on to the courts, and we're going to wrap up our final video on the Constitution USA series. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple of Dropboxes to complete, and there will be, of course, a discussion and a quiz, and then we'll move on. So I'll just work you through the assignments we have this week. Let's see here. I clicked off that too early. So first you're going to do a constitutional compromise Dropbox. And this is something that gets discussed quite a bit in political science. It's about a compromise and how we set our system up. And some things have changed. When our country first started, there weren't quite as many states involved, and there was a different kind of diversity that we had. So we had a merchant economy in the north, and we had an agricultural economy mostly in the south, and that was really the main difference. Now we have 50 states, and we have economies that are in quite of a different nature than the founders could have ever envisioned. We even have discussions now about some states having different systems across the state. South Dakota, we have mostly ranching in the west and farming in the east, but there's also more business in the eastern side of the state, and so the diversity in our states have changed a bit too. And so this article is going to get into looking at how democratic the idea of the way our system's set up is right now. And it's a good thing to reflect on. So this is basically for you to reflect on the amount of power we have as a result of the constitutional compromise. But also, there's a law that was enacted in 1929, and that had a lot of carryover into our current system that we have now. And this is something you're going to read about. We don't discuss it very much, but I think it's very interesting. It sets up our system the way we have it now, and gives you a little more to think about. So we're going to also post responses to the week 5 discussions. Remember, always do 3 responses per topic per week in order to get full credit. I had some people send me emails asking why they weren't receiving full credit, and the answer is you're not discussing. And again, what makes this class a class is the fact that we have a social learning environment. So this is separate from an independent study, and you're expected to discuss things as a class. I don't generally jump into discussions. I want you guys to freely talk about this material. I think you have a lot to teach each other and learn from each other. We're going to watch the final Constitution USA video. Again, the Dropbox is a little toned down. You're just going to write a reaction again for this one. And I've so far been very happy with most responses I get by people doing a reaction. When you do that, show me you watch the whole video. It's less than an hour, and it's very informative. We have a quiz, so make sure you read Chapter 8 of the text and take the quiz, and then we're going to do 2 initial posts to the Week 6 discussion. So as we move down, you're going to see this article is what I'm referring to, and this is the act that you're going to actually have to use. So you should read this before answering these questions, or have it open and refer back to it. And then you're going to learn about the constitutional compromise, and we're going to look at the power, how that shifts. And so a lot of people in this country move quite a bit, and one thing that happens is as you move, your voting power changes. If you move from a more rural state to a more densely populated state. And this is broken down in numerous ways. So, I mean, out here we talk about the rural versus more densely populated. In other states, in other discussions, they talk about the economic output of states, and they'll mention that if you move from a state with a relatively low economic output to one with a very high one, like New York or California, you might lose some of your voting power. So again, you're going to talk about the pros of this system, the cons of the system, and then I want you to discuss the drawbacks of this act that I mentioned earlier. And I'm pushing you to look at the drawbacks. It's easy living in a rural state to see the benefits of it, but I do want you to try to look as an American citizen and pull yourself out of the lens of somebody living here. You know, I think everyone in this class lives in South Dakota now. So pulling yourself out of that into the frame of mind of the broader view. Again, I found another free copy of this last video, and you guys are lucky. This is the last class that will have the free access, because I'm sure that by the time September rolls along, I'll have to, these won't be online anymore at all, and I'll have to have all my students purchase these. So you save yourselves $8 or $9 there. And we have the week 6 discussion, and so you're going to go back to the textbook, and we're going to look at our incarceration rates in this country. And the author does make a statement about this. I want to know if you agree with the author. Then I want you to explain your answer. Don't just say, yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree. Give me a reason. Then again, a main takeaway from the final Constitution USA video. So this week is pretty straightforward. I will warn you, next week will be a little bit extra work, but there's a real fun flip side to things. You're going to play an online game, and that gives you, it's actually something that people find a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of people in the class, in past classes really say some good things about this. In fact, I actually use it for some of my upper level classes now as a result of discussions from these this introduction to American government class. So my social policy class uses the same game in their class. So you're going to do an online simulation, and it's a lot of fun. But if you have any questions, make sure you go ahead and send me an email on D2L. Don't send them to the regular BH email. I don't check that as often. I'm on here every day, so I can get back to you immediately. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.